Alright, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. And yes, that intro jam was totally inspired by that one Simpsons episode. Anyways, in this video we're talking about these two Hammertone pedals by Fender. I got these brand new and I was wondering, what if Kurt Cobain today would walk into a modern music store and find these? Would he actually use them? Let's find out. Now the reason why I chose these pedals is because I listened to some Nirvana in my lifetime. And these pedals are just, they are not very pretty. They are pretty raw and very basic. And that got me thinking, well, Kurt actually used a Boss DS1, which he referred to as his little orange Roland distortion box, which is technically not wrong because the company behind Boss is Roland, but dude, just say what's on the pedal here, right? So the man was definitely not a gear nerd. In the earlier days he used the DS1 and an EHX small clone chorus, and then later he upgraded the DS1 to a DS2 and also used a Tech 21 Sans amp and a EHX small clone, which is, well, I remember I had the chance to buy one of these in 2018 for 150 bucks and I was like, that's a little expensive, right? Yeah, smarty pants. No, they go for like 1,000 bucks. They are super rare. I don't know why they are expensive as hell, but I wish I bought it. So anyways, the EHX Polychorus and still the EHX small clone. Those four pedals were pretty much his entire rig. But we are going to focus on the early days, DS1 EHX small clone. So let's start with the distortion. It's pretty straightforward. We have treble, bass, level and gain, and then we have internal trim pots that let you mess around with the mid frequencies. I didn't touch it at all, so it's factory setting right there. It's a very interesting distortion because whenever I see a distortion pedal that involves the color orange, my brain instantly expects the sound of a DS1 or 2, but it's actually not. It's its own character. So it's a Fender original and it's pretty good. So as you can see, it gets very bassy very fast, so you have to be a little careful on this one here. But what I like to do to get this raw, aggressive grunge sound that cuts through like a razor, I crank the treble and I crank the gain. The bass is around halfway up and bada bang! We have this raw, aggressive guitar sound just like in the song Breathe. Very cool. It made me feel like breaking something, but I don't have unlimited gear supplies and I don't have a ton of money, so I had to hold back a little. Before we get to the chorus, I'm sorry I forgot to mention, we are plugged into the orange Supercrush 100 again. It's hooked up to my 1x12 Harley Benton Celestion V30 cabinet. Now you know that. Alright, now it's time to talk about the chorus. It's also pretty straightforward. We have a depth, rate and level control. Then we have a type switch that allows us to switch between a one-voiced, two-voiced or four-voiced chorus. So it pretty much gets more intense and more chorusy depending in which mode you are. Then we have a tone switch here that's, well, if it's down it's a little darker and you put it up and it sounds a little brighter. And in a nutshell, here's what it sounds like. Pretty nice, right? So what I like about this pedal is it gets very subtle, or you can get way over the top and very, very wobbly. And I, for example, really like this warm audio, warm chorus here. It's a recreation of the Boss CE1. You can get pretty intense with this, but this one here is a whole nother league. So very, very crazy, perfect for all of your Nirvana needs, especially, you guessed it, come as you are, of course, come as you are. Now, would Kurt approve? Would he actually use these? You know, there's a part of me that wants to believe that he would actually pick those and write some hits while doing so. But in reality, he probably wouldn't even care, as he would smash them up anyways, because that's what he did. However, I feel like you can pretty much nail at least some of the sounds, or at least get into the zone, you know? Just feel like smashing something, and that's what it's all about, right? So as always, feel free to let me know down in the comment section below what you think about these pedals. I think they're very cool, and I want to thank you so much for watching my content. You know, thanks to you, I'm even in the position to still make these videos. Like I said, I don't have unlimited financial funds, but thanks to you guys, you know, I'm not making a ton of money with YouTube at all. But it's barely enough to afford stuff like this from time to time to keep going, and I like to keep going. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful week. See you next time. Take care.